Hell, I'm back and got a bunch of things on my desk here. So let me see here. Hello. Get Chris maybe to add this on to the one we just did, or this will be another grouping. Sorry about that. It's just kind of a little busy. uh, this was sent into Chris, I think, and then over to Drew. This is about a weeping ankle. Livia, this is, let me see, they've had a major surgery on the ankle there. It's weeping. The left side of my nostril started to weep clear fluids. I'm very concerned and scared and near tears and trying to rectify the problem. I thought you said this is an ankle, and then we've got mucus coming from the nose as well. They've got a fracture here, several surgeries, bunionectomy. So you're really having big-time lymphatic problems. Big-time lymphatic problems. This is why you're slow to heal, why you're oozing, and why you're dripping out of the nose. And this is, you sent me your blood workup, and if you go back to the creatinine, you're 1.08, unacceptable, way too high, and even they acknowledge this from this lab, which I'm so happy they are. So it's telling your kidneys are going, which is your lymphatic system, and of course this is why the weeping ankle. Your lymph system has to clean up the mess, not your blood. Remember that? So your lymph system is the janitorial system and the sewer system of the human body. And looking at your eyes here, which we have, ooh, lymph, 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 lymph. A lot of lymph and deterioration of the upper femur right side, and I can actually say bilaterally you look the same there. That could be the adrenal glands imposing in on that one, though, on the left side. It's enough to say that got to do raw, raw, raw. Really, I would kick up my parathyroid, do the Bones formula. You could rub a salve on that wound down there, the surgical area. As far as nose dripping, try to kick it up another notch and see if you can get it to run. You don't want it to drip, you want it to run. And get your sinuses cleaned out, get your lymph moving, but you got to get into your kidneys and fix those kidneys there, dear one. That's not good. 1.08, you're moving quick to 2. That wouldn't be good. They'd be talking to you about dialysis here in the future. I thank you, Reforced. You're going after this, Reforced 14 fertility. I'll have to read that from Frederick Kaufman. I'll have to see what he says on that. Although I tell you the truth, I'm about burnt out of reading. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it's better if you just, like I say, turn off the news, quit reading, and enjoy creation for what it is. It's just one of our issues that keeps me driving, and I need to listen to my own advice. Just too much insanity out there, too much low consciousness, like you see out there. It's amazing. I was just reading someone's journey in the hospital, and this was Katie. Hi, sweetheart. Listen, so she hurt her. She's in New Zealand. She hurt herself somewhere in overseas or something, having some fun somewhere or something. Anyway, you hurt your knee and you had to have surgery. Gee, Monique, Christmas. And so they have you on antibiotics, and of course you went under the knife, so the anesthesia. So you got to clean this neurotoxicity out of your body. The antibiotics use Parasitem instead. Remember, infection, you just had trauma to tissue, which creates acidosis. Same thing with the lymph. So if you're not moving lymph on top of trauma, this is where you get the weeping ankles and stuff. This is where you don't heal well. You're in for multiple surgeries. Things just don't come in contact well. This is why the same thing we're doing right now is the same thing you would do for that. You could accelerate that by pumping the greens, though, and that would be advantageous, is to pump the greens a little bit. At the same time, comfrey, golden seal, horsetail, all these healing herbs, adaptogens, anything like that will do well with that. But we have a bones formula that'll accelerate the healing of even that one. Same thing with the weeping ankle. But you got to move lymph on top of that. Bacteria, matter of fact, some of you like probiotics. Well, why take an antibiotic? You know, I mean, the bacteria is trying to clean up the mess if they're present. And that's all it is. But you got to move your lymph there, sweetheart. I would like to visit you in New Zealand, definitely. This is the knee. Knee. She's on crutches, the poor thing, and hey, love you, hon. You got to, get yourself raw, get yourself detox. That'll help heal that ankle. Kick up the parathyroid a little bit. Start sucking down some kelp. Definitely, we got some healing salves you can use for that. I'm sure you got them in New Zealand. Throw some on there, get some comfrey or something, and that'll really help you that way. Parasite M for an antibiotic, absolutely. You don't want to kill your lymph node antibiotic, bacteria and all that as well. That'll just compromise your health there a little bit. This one is the Ouija bird. Hey there. I gotta love that name. This is anxiety, heart palpitation, chest pains, and healing crisis. This is a history of panic attacks and anxieties. On meds for 3 years. Just kind of going through this. Having pains in the upper torso, stabbing pain, somewhere in the heart center, heart palpitation, nightmares, thin bits of undigested food in the stools, anxiety and panic attacks. Sounds like your problem's right in the stomach area. Remember, that's where the nerve ganglia is tied with the autonomic. That's controlled by the adrenals. So there's no question you want to bring up your adrenal glands and get your kidneys to filter. That's an obvious. But I'll tell you in what you're saying here, you're reaching all to the heart center, the shoulder. You're reaching here from the stomach with the bits of undigested food suggesting of pancreatitis. So, I mean, when you start looking at those sort of things, that sound like you also made comment, I think, where didn't you have something going on with the appendix swelling? Let me see what else here. She's waiting for a barium enema to check that acid reflux. In my opinion, you have an acid reflux that, I mean, you could, if you have undigested foods, you could be low in producing bicarbonate, could be effectual to hydrochloric acid. But on the same tone here, you really sound like you have big-time interstitial lymphatic constipation. Remember those 3 words. Interstitial lymphatic constipation. Your appendix is swelling. That means your lymph system in your gut wall is backed up. This would go right on up to the stomach. This would lead right into the autonomic. This would create chest pains, lung pains, sternum pains. Everything's up for grabs. Back, same way. Go resonate right to the back. Remember, every vertebrae relates to every part of your body. You know how God makes everything like this. So you can have reflex pains to the back and then deteriorate the back from this. It's just everything is so tied together in the human body that one part affects another part, obviously. So this is a lymphatic problem again. Work with the stomach and bowel formulas on the gut. Really got to move lymph. Sounds like a chronic problem you got here. So don't freak out. It's going to take you a little while. Maybe get in the GI broom. You got to move lymph or you'll lose the appendix, and you know, who knows what's going on with the bowels and all that. But this sounds like a GI tract problem. I mean, you definitely have adrenals and kidneys, but this is the nerve ganglia, and you can have chest pains, heart palpitations from stomach problems. And that's what this sounds like to me in looking at your case here. Either way, you're going to clean up the whole body doing this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But still, in everything you're saying here, boy, you really got to move lymph here. And you're probably a little chronic in there. Look at your eyes. Do you have brown or orange around the pupil there? If you're blue-eyed, if you're brown-eyed, are you deeper brown in the middle of the pupil? But you have a heavy head, more inflammation in my chest, burning sensations in my legs. Let's see, there are times when I am lying with my eyes closed and I feel like I'm floating upside down, doing a headstand. Oh, you're really backed up. You're really backed up. This is all nerve pain, acids on the nerve. This is relating to the cerebellum and where you feel like you're swimming or out-of-body experience, the wrong out-of-body experience. I don't know if there is one. But all that sounds like lymph to me, a Ouija bird. Get your lymph moving. Go on a great fast. Really dig in and get the lymph. Take a stomach and bowel, lymphatic 1 capsules three times a day. I would. Maybe get in the GI room, definitely hit adrenals and kidneys and get all that moving. You need to drain the head, drain the back, get the stomach fixed up. You could use marshmallow tea, slippery elm tea, comfrey, things like that to help heal the gut. But this is a lymphatic stagnation problem. That's why you see the appendix swelling. That's why you see all that connection there. So yeah, a bit of an issue here for you. Really want to tear it apart. Sounds like you're in a chronic state here. So just tear it apart. You want to see mucus in your stools. You want to see all this stuff starting to come out. Remember the sediment in the urine. Definitely want to see that because your legs are involved too. But that nerve ganglia can be going all the way from your back all the way down to your feet. So, and even your stomach and all this, these nerves all end in the feet as well. So you can be feeling that down there. All this burning is, of course, is how you feel with acids. So that really you're going to have to tear into this and really get into detox deeper and get into that flow there. This is a rat face kick. I've never heard of a Ioannidis machine. I've never heard of that. But boy, does that sound good. Forget blended banana ice cream. This stuff is a whole new level. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You guys and all you really smart guys out there and gals, you're going to make things so much better for people. I'm just excited. It'll be interesting to see what your generation and the next generations do with this. It's so exciting what we can do. It'd be nice to bring the tropics to Florida at least so America can have some idea of what that's like. Our Canadian friends too. You know, these poor people are way up there in the cold. I feel for them as well. This is Reforest 14 again. There's a documentary film, Release Diabetes in 30 Days with Raw Foods. Wouldn't start the whole fruits be the protocol here. I was talking about this, 2 types of sugar problems. We have sugar metabolism problems, which is the cortisol link, the adrenal gland link. And then we have the I'm not producing enough insulin problem. Now, you could get to the nervous system relationship to the beta cells, the islets, and that could be a neurological or a pancreatic issue with type 1. But in type 2, on hypo, they're both hypo and hyperglycemia. Actually, they're the opposite sides of the same coin, sugar metabolism problems. I'll say this, that even fruits and vegetables, you can have a little bit of a problem with that. A little bit, because it's sugar metabolism problems. So you still want to avoid starches and all that, and your blood sugars will pretty rectify normal. But even with type 2, if you go way up and down, big deal. However, type 1, again, I just proved this to another lady. Type 1, she's on an insulin pump. So she's been going on. I knew she wasn't doing the diet, you can tell. So, you know, finally she's getting really low blood sugars and then low highs. I said, listen, just put you on, I want her 1 week, nothing but fruits, berries, and melons, 1 week. Give me 1 week, because she's been picking up some chicken and fish, and I'm going, what? You know, and this, so they can't regulate their blood sugars doing crap like that. So I told her, just go raw fruits, berries, and melons for 1 week. Blood sugar's 50. Well, you know, insulin pump, time to get rid of it. Her blood sugars never spike over 200 anyway. So she needs to go to her MD, get rid of her insulin pump, go on. She didn't need insulin at all. Remember, insulin's like any other hormone. You take it, your body quits making it. So she's well on her way to being fine. This is the lady that got type 1 from surgery, anesthesia, neurological type 1. But on fruit, from surgery, anesthesia, neurological type 1. But on fruit, and they did an islet transplant, believe it or not, on her. How about that? But this is a case where the fruit, she had nothing but fruit, And the fructose is not converted to glucose by the liver. Bull crap. No need to. And if you did, she would have problems because she's having problems with glucose. Thank you. Monsanto is evil. Mother Nature is, boy, they are. I don't know. This is a bunch of people that are just unbelievable. Unbelievable. These people are unbelievable. We need a love fairy to visit Monsanto Corporation with a lot of that fairy love dust. Dr. Morris, this is Anna Maria 2979. I was almost born and raised on Anna Maria Island. Is a symptom of detox is to have unclear vision? Absolutely, and I talked about this a couple of videos ago where when you start moving lymph, you can start getting mucus in the eyes more and filmy floaters and stuff like that. Those are the kind of floaters you want. You don't want the other kind of floaters, which could be detached retinas and everything else. I woke up after drinking my juice. I realized, oh, can't even type the message. Yeah, I'll use the eye wash. That'll really pull and clean the eye really well, so get that and just have it on hand. One bottle of eye wash will last you a year. Get a little eye cup, play with that. Good stuff. This is Stir 8 Up, brah, pooh. Every day I think I might be my last. What is going on here, dear one? I need help. What does the doc have people do when they want to fight off disease? Doctors think I've got a pheochromocytoma or a carcinoid, which the carcinoid is tumors generally in the GI tract, can be in the bronchial trunks, and of course the other one, the cytoma, is in the adrenal glands. That's a big stretch between the two. Doesn't matter. What would that be caused from, dear? Doesn't matter if it's cancerous or not. Just the tumors aren't cancerous. It's only cells that are cancerous, and it isn't a disease. Remember that a cell's just a damaged cell by acids. So don't freak out. This is just your lymph system. And if you are sprouting little tumors, well, why are you sprouting them? And that means you're not moving your lymph system. So you move your lymph system. Get on there and get on the raw foods. Get on the on the fruits, berries, and melons here for a few months. Get on that lymphatic formulas. Get on that protocol I've been giving you guys, and you'll whack those right out of you if you got them. Right now, a lot of people are having cysts or tumors on the adrenal glands. Very common stuff. Remember, this is this whole connection to the lymphatic system, and you guys are learning a lot about this that no one else knows. So you guys are doing really good. But don't freak out. Don't think the next day is going to be your next. Get your body detox. Get into this. Get the herbs in there. Really get moving on this, and you'll be fine. All these, if you do have tumors, they'll come out. If you don't, you have a lot of acidosis because you're feeling that. So that's all the same stuff, whether it's formed a tumor yet or not. Doesn't matter. It sounds like your lymph system's really backed up. So go ahead and take that on. STR 8 up. Brah. Okay, this is a German Eichelt. Tongue twister for me. Yeah, I love all herbs all around the world. I really do. I am just, in America, I'm trying to use American herbs because of this issue of importing herbs. Now, you might be able to grow some. Ashwagandha, I think, is grown here somewhat. But I'm just trying to keep down any irradiation, any fumigation, any radiation. I'm just trying to keep down any herbs like that. I'm trying to get as much fresh, organic, wild-crafted herbs. I don't only get those, but you got a marketplace out there you got to be very careful with, and in this country I'm just real cautious. Again, I'd really like to have go to India and put together some kick butt formulas with Indian herbs too, and China the same way. I try to use some of these herbs when I can and where I can. I have not had extensive Ayurvedic medicine or herbal studies. I just never was propelled to that. I've got there's plenty of strong herbs in this country. Plenty. So, but I love them all. So whatever you find good for yourself, but I will definitely, ashwagandha, I'm very familiar, but I will, I'll keep putting together formulas, and maybe I'll put together some Indian formulas, as long as I'm assured I can get the herbs on a continuing basis in an organic sense, non-fumigated and or irradiated. That's going to be some of the biggest issues that we face here. But thanks so much. You know, when you're busy in working in your clinic and helping people, it's awful hard to do a million things at once. And I've been doing this for so many years that after a while, it's even in this field, you just can't do it all. That's why I really love you guys and see a lot of you guys tearing it up and taking it deeper and things like that. And you know, I think all herbalists should hold hands around the world. I think we should exclude animal products in herbology, things like that. Even though, you know, I'm into glandulars, but only in the sense of practicing and working with people in that way with so many chronic issues, endocrine gland-wise, unreal. But still, in herbal medicine, I'd like to keep out the weird stuff that you really don't need to go to. The herbs themselves are so powerful. We don't need to go other way. The only problem that I see in herbology is not fast enough for endocrine gland failure. And that's why I do like the glandulars, especially while there are man-eating animals on the planet. We can take and save some of the body parts of the organic stuff and use them as glandulars, okay. There'll be a time we'll wind out of this. We'll wind out of dead animal eating. We'll wind out of using glandulars or animal parts. And the stem cells will be more involved, and I think that'll be helpful. But there's nothing like the botanicals in genetically remembering. Remember, stem cells can't clean your lymph system, and this is going to be the biggest problem we face. So, I don't know. You know, we'll just see how everything keeps going down the line there. But do appreciate all your comments. Keep them coming like that. You know, I might waken up to one herber here and change some formulas. I'm really proud of my formulas, but I like to make new ones so you have multiple choices. I like to play with more power formulas to see. So I'll be doing some of this later on. Right now, I'm just trying to get everything set up so it works well worldwide. So just hang in there. This is Miss Fairy Bloom. I'm not into religion, I'm into truth. Religions are systems of control from a priesthood, Catholic, Protestant, Islamic, Buddhist. I know, Scientologists, Masons, the Masonic order? Oh, come on. My dad was a 32nd Mason and then got into the hats, what do you call them? You know, man loves rituals. And you know, I think that this world is so far away, even in creation's view, so far isolated from the one, that everything does see themselves as separate. So much so that, and mixed with the immature id and the immature mental faculties of the Homo sapien, it's me, mine, you, yours, you look different, you need to get, you know, you need to be away from me, you believe differently, therefore you shouldn't be allowed to live, that kind of, I mean, there's just so much insanity around that, and so many levels from the snake handlers to the out-of-body travelers. I mean, there's just so many levels, and the bottom line is just what you're saying here, sweetheart. The bottom line is we have to stop believing and start knowing, start participating and being consciousness, being the spirit within, not separating yourself from you. You know, this is our problem. And even in our words, we speak in isolation and separation. And we have to start seeing and speaking in oneness. And it really changes the verbiage and what you're putting into even the subconscious. So remember, it's not my spirit or my soul, it's me as soul, using these bodies that got a little aberrated. You remember, we're looking through the doorways of our bodies into these different worlds and allowing the drama to go on. And just the art of God and its need to experience something other than itself. And so it can't. When you're all that there is, you can't experience something other than yourself. So you have to create the illusion of something other than yourself. That's why you have duality. And that is the fluctuating of magnetics from one pole to another, creating activity, creating form, the illusion or concept of separation. But it's the only way God can experience something other than itself. So I really feel for the Supreme Being, because you have to have the good, the bad, and the ugly. You have to have the positive and the negative. You can't just have one energy in creation. It requires two to create separation and the illusion of activity and differences. So it's just learning that and pulling back to the one and playing in the duality of the world, but not being a part of it, Detachment. The best way to live your life is detached. Give all the love and beauty and honesty and integrity you can, and just be detached about the outcome, because you're only looking through the window of the bodies. You're just playing the game. Miss Fairy Bloom, I would say you're brainwashed if you're defending your New Age Mystery Babylon religion. It's the ideology. I see you guys are having a little dissertation here. I love it, because this is how you mature yourselves. I've had a lot of years of teaching spiritual classes, out-of-body classes, and just spirituality. And there's times when I got myself in jams by my verbalage and, and learning how to articulate and getting my butt kicked with people that got me back and things I was saying. And, just that whole movement and education of articulation, of being able to dissertate with each other, to communicate. And so it's the art of Socrates and Pythagorean communication skills and picking these things up, The problem is we want to defend that which we believe, even though it might not be true. So I find that amazing. My biggest thing is I hope I'm not involved in something that isn't true. That's why I'm real cautious to say something that I don't know is pure fact. Once in a while I might verb out something, but I hope not. Everything I try to communicate, I have actual conscious experience with it. So I see the communication going on with Dwayne and Miss Fairy Bloom. I'm just going to just let you guys enjoy that. But I will say that I will always align myself on those that let go of preconceived ideas of anything. Read J. Krishnamurti, really good for that sort of thing, because in the end, it doesn't matter what anybody believes in as long as their belief system allows for other people to believe in what they believe in. It's when your belief system is better than someone else, that isolates you from them, you're superior, that's a problem. And that's a real big problem. And if you'll read the actual works of Jesus and Buddha and Mohammed, you'll find that that wasn't their perspective at all. Matter of fact, if you go and visit these individuals, you'll see that, oh, did I say visit? Why can't you? But let's just say that you were reading their works they left behind. But you can communicate with them if you like. These worlds are they're huge, and so you don't have to communicate with people with just physical bodies. Remember that? That's why out-of-body travel is a lot of fun. You get to visit and participate with some interesting things in other worlds. So pretty cool stuff. But almost every spiritual giant was a freedom fighter in their own way. Every spiritual giant was a freedom fighter. Look at Jesus. And one of you even made a comment of Jesus in the marketplace. And that's my favorite analogy as well, in relationship to materiality and people's belief systems. But you see that in Buddha. You see it in all of that, the pulling away from the family and getting away from the wealthy and getting away from that which was hidden to that which was real. And the journey of Siddhartha, that sort of thing. So just really cool stuff. But you guys are on those same journeys. So relish and bask in your own beauty and joy and the fact that you have consciousness, and don't put all your stuff on someone else. Keep some for yourself. Not in a narcissistic, egotistical way, but just in the way that you appreciate your own consciousness, your own awareness, and your own beauty, as well as everyone else's. We're all the same in that way. Also, Master M, for people trying to lose fat, it's perhaps helpful to realize that fat is acid. Well, this is Sakmo Franklin. To protect the blood, organs, etc., especially when the lymph is clogged, the body sees no thank you to receipt, hence difficulty to shed the blast. That's why fat teenagers mostly have acne-free skin, whilst eating more crap compared to the thin, spotty ones, as they must use third kidney as an output. Well, it's an interesting thought line, that might be true, but I always considered fat more alkaline, to be truthful with you, because fat is used as an anti-inflammatory in the human body, which means it would have to be more base chemistry. And then, of course, fat can be broken down into glucose, which is alkaline chemistry. But, carbon and the like. But, could be steeped with a lot of proteins, too, where that is very acidic. So, yeah, I think that somewhere in the middle, that's probably true there, my friend. Hi, Dr. Morse. Do you think I will get any health problems if I eat just fruits? Oh, I asked the dark chocolate. I just answered that one on another one. Let me see here. I started taking Endocrine, Kidney 1, Lymphatic, Bowel 2 formulas for a couple of weeks, and I'm experiencing very dry hands. Are these related? I don't see anything there that would relate to that. I mean, that's all lymphatic, having dry hands like that. And yes, you could be going through somewhat of a healing crisis in that respect. Could be that's already with you there. These herbs don't create that. I don't know of any one of those that would be drying out of the body like that. I've never seen that with any of these. But I do think that that's part of what's going on with you. Is the lymph. You have to see if you've had a lot of lotions on your hands, or are you involved in mechanics or whatever. You have to see that around the body. But I don't think it's a product of the herbs. I think it's a product of your lymph system and maybe what you've been involved in. We talked about that a while back, how nurses typically have a lot of that, where their hands crack and everything. Too many lotions and stuff. And the problem is that why are we using chemicals? We just don't care. I mean, you have to realize some of these chemists are very constipated. Let me see. This is the comment on killing with chemo. The doc also mentions that we need to be in an alkali state. Aren't fruits acidic? No, fruits aren't. Oh, this is steroid up, bah. No. They have an alkaline ash for the most part. They definitely have acid principles in some of the fruits. But I think a lot of that is related to high nitrogen fertilizers and picking fruit unripe. I think you see a lot of that out there, and we make a judgment on these fruits, but you can have, like a good example was the 6 months I did oranges with, but I did several years of oranges. I just did 6 months totally on oranges, but I did years of oranges. And the oranges I had access to, there wasn't anything to give you a concept of acid. There was nothing. Almost the peel was sweet. That's how incredible these were. And I just think that we're seeing a product of bad farming. No way other to say it than bad farming. And we have some bad farmers out there that think they're doing good but need to kick it up another notch, guys, and get these farmlands back in shape and get rid of these dairy farms. Sorry, but get rid of all dairy farms and turn them into vegetable farms and fruit farms. We'll build some major greenhouses. Why aren't we spending money that way? And then we'll have fresh fruit and berries and melons and salads through the winter everywhere around the world. We're going to have to do that. If you want to live in northern climates, you're going to have to grow massive greenhouses so we have fresh fruit year-round. And we're not going to pump it up. We're going to do the Disney World thing. Hydroponics, better yet, oceanponics. Incredible food with oceanponics. So we should be doing that. Well, you know, the more of us that get wrong, the more people around the world, governments, when they get sick, these people are going to get sick, dying of cancer. When they wake up, the people in power might do something about it. Reforce for fertility. On the suggestion video sidebar here, sometimes another Dr. Morse comes up with who publicly speaks on NDEs covering similar terrain. Yeah, which covers similar out-of-body terrain. I just think this might be a bit advanced for the healing. You might be right. You know, you might be right about that. I've been kind of holding back for a lot of years, to be honest with you. I wasn't sure man was quite ready. I think that's why the Eckmasters kind of stepped back a little bit, and Harold Klemp kind of took in there, because I don't think this planet was ready really for some of those levels. They still have a hard time dealing with some of these higher levels, so I think there had to be a little bit of a step back. So I've been hiding a lot of this information. I think it's time people wake up. I don't care who you are and what you believe in. You can have any belief system you want, but I think most belief systems refer to the individual as a soul, at least a spiritual entity. And I think out-of-body travels definitely is freaky for some people, but I remember back in the day, you know, it was taught as voodoo and stuff, and it's like, no, you realize that a lot of people are having near-death experiences. They're putting it all over the Discovery Channel now. I Survived is even having an aspect of people that have been dead 20 minutes, half hour, an hour, and their journey. Well, if you're having an out-of-body experience and I shake you, or you have trauma and it pops you out of your body, why can't you learn to leave your body naturally? That's all this is. And some people make a big ado about nothing. But I think it's time that man take a big step up. We've been wallowing in the mud too long. Let's all take a big step up. Let's talk about spirituality and growth. And let's talk about health and healing. Because it's just time. I'm being pushed. It's time. And so I have to follow what I'm told, or I don't want bad karma. You know, I've been to some astral prisons, and no thank you. In creation, you can get, especially for you spiritual people, there's places that'll literally take your breath away. It's so claustrophobic that to someone that sees more of the universe, it can be extremely fearful. I hate to use that word, but I've told you some experiences, and there's some places that bad people go, like corrupt federal judges. Bad places. Don't think I want to go there. So if we knew that every action we have has an equal and opposite reaction, I think we'd be putting candy on a lot more. Sugar. I mean chocolate. I mean fresh squeezed organic sugar cane. What? Listen, tranquility, wow, that's a horrible thing you just said about yourself. Don't say that. That's not good. You don't say that about yourself. No. You're not a you know what loser, nor are you wish you were dead. No. Quit that. You're loved. You might not realize that, but you're loved by a lot of people you don't even know. So if you got a problem, call me, okay? All right? Don't put yourself down so much. We're all unconscious. It's just unconsciousness. It's just unawareness, my friend. And it happens. We're in this hellhole, and you just you do things, and you don't know what we do a lot of times. We just do things. It's just the path we follow. We've lost our intuitiveness. We're not taught this way. You're a product of social consciousness here. You were put here, so don't knock yourself down so much. It's not worth it. You're as beautiful as all of us, so don't knock yourself down. You don't need to. If you're in trouble, give me a call. Damn. Choke me up. Okay. This is Micma, oh goddess, beautiful woman. Hello, I am starting a raw food vegan diet soon. How about now? And I am in chronic migraine pain. Oh man, well, get into this raw now, sweetheart, because get out of this migraine. I was raised on migraines, all the milk and the constipation of the lymph system in my head and and in my bowels. It's like no, 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 no. I hate migraines. Get yourself out of that trouble. Really clean up the bowels, dear one. Get your lymph moving. Get your sinuses drained out. Get your stomach fixed up because these are all hot spots for headaches. Get your thyroid up. Migraine pain that hasn't broke since 2002. Well, I've had, remember I told you about an Amish elder who had migraines for 45 years straight every day? It only took me a couple months to get rid of them. So you get going, get yourself cleaned out. You don't want to live with these migraines, all right? That's right, 9 years. I have one kid. Oh, I have one kidney. Also, I was on the Depot. Oh man, Depot shot, which is birth control. Yeah, that can cause migraines right there. Bad, bad, bad. But in a shot and 3 months worth, I had 3 total. I got off the shot. Yeah, definitely. Bad stuff. And this interactive migraine started. Yeah. Detox, detox, detox and rebuild, sweetheart. Don't freak out. Detox. Get your one kidney back in a state of health. Your adrenal. This is why with one kidney, nix all protein for sure. Get rid of all dairy. We already know that, right? And start this now. Don't wait tomorrow. Right now. You're going to start fruits, berries, and melons right now. No, don't wait till tonight. Right now. And really start getting your body moved out. Get on a little herbal program if you can afford it. Get your bowels cleaned up. Get your kidney cleaned up. Get that adrenal moving on top of that kidney. And really start moving your lymph. Eat a very pure diet and clean your lymph system out. And any of these chemicals that are suppressing serotonins and the like, causing spasticity in the brain, will come out of there and you'll be okay. All right? Very important that you do that, honey, okay? Yeah, they can help you, and get yourself out of this, sweetheart. We'll help you. We should never down ourselves. It's not good. Tranquility now. Wow, you got to find your tranquility, all right? Don't knock yourself down like that, okay? At least I love you. This is Colivia, something like that, 1985. 1985. Dear Dr. Morris, I immensely appreciate the work of Dr. Eretz and thyself. Thank you. I love Dr. Eretz. I thought he was pretty good. It's pretty cool. Dear Dr. Morris, I immensely appreciate the work of Dr. Eretz and thyself. Thank you. I love Dr. Eretz. I thought he was pretty good. It's pretty cool. I fully realize, confirmed by my own experience, starch is mucus forming, a hindrance of the emergence of the supreme well-being. However, unprocessed starches consumed along with a low-fat diet does not lead to overweight. Quite the opposite. A whole grain host of highly successful vegetarian doctors and untold multitudes of Asians prior to culinary westernization are living proof of the enormous belief that starches cause overweight or disease. Well, I can tell you this. I do a lot of Asians, and we have a serious chronic bowel problems from this. The devitalization, in other words, the stripping of the outer husk and the germ, but these are still starches. Still polysaccharides. They're still too concentrated for man to consume. You can have them if you want, but it sounds like your fungus is talking to you, because really, the people have in different countries consume these sort of things, but I have clients all around the world, remember that? And I have tons of Japanese, tons of Indonesians, tons of Chinese. I have all kinds, especially around here. I have a lot of people that own Chinese restaurants around here that come in to see me. And I had one man had a beautiful big buffet and everything else, but I told him he couldn't eat meat and he didn't come see me anymore. There are some restaurants that offer whole grain rices, and you can have that. But again, these aren't raw foods. And there's a huge difference. You don't see any animal anywhere dealing with the grains like we have. Now, can we say they're going to kill you? No. Are they acidic? Yes. So you have all these things to consider, dear one. I definitely support the tenets and the merits of the muciless diet. However, I feel Ehret was perhaps excessively critical of unprocessed starches because the vegetarians of his age consume grotesque qualities of dairy. Well, that's true, which may have colored perception. Maybe, but I really don't see the real issue with that. I mean, why even mess with fermentation of grains? Sprout them, but then you're back into the plants again. So I really don't, I'm very well working with animals for years with grains and even dried grains, no processed grains, and still fattens them up. You don't process oats. You feed animals raw oats, and they'll fatten them up like crazy. I don't know. I mean, we used to fatten our cows and hogs up for market with grains. I fattened up horses before and learned I didn't want to do that. That's when I moved from oats to alfalfa, and they ran better, stronger. I don't see that in any creature on the planet but the Homo sapien. So I don't know. I can't say that I agree with you on that. But will it hurt you and kill you? If you're healthy, no. But I say on the road to getting well, you want to eliminate those and then bring them back in the diet. I don't think a little of anything will hurt anybody. I'm not as you can tell, I'm not a lifetime raw foodist. And if you added how many truly lifetime raw foodists there are that really didn't sneak anything in this time, I don't think you would cover one hand worldwide. So I don't know, I mean, I think you younger people will be more raw longer than I was. I really started to lose my raw food opening a health food store. Just simply opening a health food store, and then I ended up opening 3 of them. I started tasting things. I thought your grains were good. I thought all these things were good. So I started trying. I got off my raw food because all these things were good. No, they weren't. I started gaining weight. I started eating nuts. I started consuming pine nuts like crazy, handfuls of almonds and raisins. I just was consuming all it. No, I can tell you from my perspective, I felt so much better 100% raw off of all that crap. But I had health food stores and everybody thought it was good. I had my grain meals, I fresh grain, but that even unprocessed. We don't process them when we feed them to animals. But that's where that started getting me off right there, and it's like, oh, I pulled myself back many times through the years. But, it's just the way it is. I've seen this in the natural hygienic people. I've lectured to hygienic people around the world. 90-year-olds, the original teeth, healthy, still eating some cooked foods? Absolutely. I went one day down here to a big natural hygienic get-together, right? And I was the only one that brought a raw food plate. This was and they were all 80s, 90-year-olds. I mean, incredible. But they all brought cooked foods to a natural hygienic dinner. And I couldn't believe it. I bought a great big bowl of fruit. And they're looking at that, and I'm looking at them saying, well, did you guys lose your perspective? You lose your self-disciplines and stuff? And so I got them excited about raw foods again. And sometimes you need that. You need someone to come and get you excited again. Because we're all conditioned. The older we are, the more conditioned we are. And that's why our children are our hope. And those of you that are young, that are tearing this apart. But those that come in and think you're going to be a David Wolf, I even think David Wolf does a little of this. But all intentions are good. I ripped it apart for 15 years. But then little this, little of that, significant others this, married this, children this, working this, traveling this. There's a ton of things that are involved in all that. Pressure this, pressure that. So those that are not mature with those things, don't judge us that have been through that. A lot of stress. Poor Dr. Jensen, there was always someone after him. And so there's always someone after me. State's always after us. This is a negative world. These people are channels for the negative forces, and they don't realize it. And they would love to shut the positive God forces down. That's just the nature of the positive and negative. And remember, when you see something positive, there's something negative right beside it. Duality. Love it. Ooh. Crazy Fox Fitness. Ooh, I gotta go. Crazy Fox Fitness. I believe healthy body weight for humans can be directly related to genetics. Well, of course it's related to genetics in the sense of the adrenals and the thyroids and stuff like that. It's going to make for a fat or thin person. Malabsorption, da-ba-da-ba-ba. Sure, diet does affect it, but acceptance of God's creation of you is important in your personal happiness. God does not make junk. Then I'll have a Twinkie, thank you very much, and you can put some whipping cream on top of that. That'll make double cream for me. Does not make junk. God knows what a good Twinkie tastes like. Or custard. Oh, I've got a cut, and see, this is nerve pain. Thank you so much for all the love, healing you give to us, views. Thank you so much. This is 099087662. I had 2 nerve root cysts drained on my spine, C5, C6. Oh, my God. They were wrapped with cal-bromine to prevent reoccurrence. Your nerve roots were wrapped with cal-bromine? Bromine what? My neurosurgeon wants me to do a follow-up with an MRI. Okay, so you know you had a cyst. Lymph. Get your kidneys, get your adrenals up, get your lymph moving so you don't form any of those things. That's what you got to do. This is all about the lymph system for sure. We'll adjust our blood chemistry, still have pain, nerve pain that radiates from neck to the jaw. Yeah. Your only hope, move lymph. Get that lymph draining down that back to those kidneys. Get those axillary lymph nodes cleaned up. Really start moving that lymph so you can get those acids out and rebuild. Make sure your parathyroid's in good shape so you can regenerate any bone tissue there, but also upper brain, brain and nerve. It'll help to strengthen the myelin sheath and strengthen that nervous system there. Mostly raw vegan. Will my body adjust, or do you recommend an MRI to see if there's something wrong? You know what? You want to be careful with excessive radiation, particularly on spines and nerves and stuff like that. I'd really just tear up the raw foods. Really tear that up, get into the lymph drainage, the lymph formulas, clean up the bowels, and really start draining this up. If you're having lung problems or if you had asthma or pneumonia, start taking the lung formula and clean out your lungs, because this can also resonate up to the lower C-spine. Woo-hoo! Well, I'm trying to catch up with you guys. You're just too sharp for your own good. All right, so I'll get this out and try to get this up maybe today or tomorrow for you, and then I'll try. I've got a training for the guys here this afternoon I've got to do with them, get them even up more on board, and so I might be able to shoot another hour maybe, if you don't mind. Let me see what it comes this afternoon, okay? Had 2 cancellations today. One guy had to go to the hospital, stroke. I guess he waited too long to see me. That's what I hate. This is why we're taking steps to change these things. So I don't know, you know, it's just we've got a lot of sick people out there, and we need all your help. So thank you so much. You guys have fun today, and hopefully we'll get this up as soon as possible, and I can get your question answered. And by the way, don't be down on yourself. You know, we all take pathways, and whoops, I guess I walked down the wrong road. I used to beat myself up too much too. And no, you got to start liking yourself, because you can't run and hide from yourself, and you can't kill yourself because you're still there. That's the problem, is there's nowhere you can go. You're always with yourself, and you should always be that way. Yeah, let's go ahead and turn this off. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Just push that in.